So we want to factor a to the 4th power minus 9. First, we see difference of two squares. We can write as a square minus 3 square. And this one, a square plus 3 and a square minus 3. This one, difference of two squares again, we can think that as a square plus 3 times a square minus cubic 3, radical 3, square root of 3 squared. So now we have difference of two squares. A plus square root of 3 or radical 3 times a minus radical 3. What about this one? So it depends, right? Radical 3 is an irrational number, but it's also a real number. It depends if you have learned something called imaginary number or complex number. Imaginary number has this I squared equals to -1, or I equals to square root of -1. Right. Then complex number. If you have learned the complex number, they have a real part and imaginary part. So real part means a square cannot be negative, right? So in real number sense, that means any number is a real number, means if you square it or if you multiply with itself, it's at least 0 or it cannot be negative. So that's another branch of number, it's called imaginary number, which is defined as I squared equals to -1 or I equals to square root of -1. So out of this, we make a complex number. We have a real number and the imaginary number. So A plus IB. I indicates this B, it belongs to imaginary number. A is a real number. So if we have knowledge of this, we can also factor this one, this part. Okay. A square plus 3, because we can write this as a square minus 3 times I squared, right? Because I squared is -1. So that will make this -3. The minus -3, that's plus 3. Of course, 3 is a square root of 3 squared. Right? So we can make this a square. So plus 3i so we can rewrite this a square plus 3 as a square minus square root of 3i squared. Then again we have difference of two squares. So this can be factored as a plus square root of 3i. And this I, you can write before square root of 3, like in this form, or after. Doesn't matter. Then the second one is a minus square root of 3i. Then with those two factors, a plus square root of 3 and a minus square root of 3. So now a to the 4th power minus 9 is being factored into 4 factors, right? 2 complex factors and 2 real factors. That's done.